live? Probably live. Are we live? I'm live. We're live. All right. Preseason game going on. Here, let me pull up some stats while I'm doing one thing. Oh my god. Stop texting me. I'm actually. Why? Oh, Jesus. All right. Should be live. Are we live? Yeah. Why is it not showing live on here? Okay. Okay. All right, we can minimize these. How you doing, Roll? What's up, homie? Well, you know, if it's just the two of us, we can do a Dynasty startup for one of them, but it's we'll see. And if we get more people in by the time we get to the mock draft, I'm gonna ask you to convince them because it's not really what's going on for most people this time of the year, especially people who watch my channel, since I just don't do Dynasty startups. But so for now, I can always change the settings. Let me get a link out there to the draft. Right now, I have the settings at, and let me include that. Hold up. But we won't be able to know truly. So 12 team, two minutes to pick, but we're going full PPR, yeah, and 3 wide receiver, 7, a nice fat bench there. Yeah, we'll leave it. No, nobody does care, but people voted anyways. So settings. Mock draft settings, maybe I should write. Mock draft settings, full PPR, 3 wide receiver. What's up, Michael? Working on something quick. You got it, homie. There'll be some time. There's a lot of... So for anybody watching this video in the future, if you haven't fast forwarded already, if you're here for the mock drafts, you know, just fast forward. It'll be obvious once this starts filling up that we've reached the time that we do the mock draft. But if you're curious before that, I will be going over training camp news. I got quite a bit of it as we are in the thralls of training camp right now. Things are happening. Unfortunately, injuries are starting to happen, etc. So keep an eye on that. You know, some high-scoring preseason action as expected right now going into the second quarter. A couple, 1 or 2 interest. Tyrone Tracy, I thought he had, I think a play got called back. Maybe it was holding or something. I thought he had a better average than this earlier and like 5 carries. So he was looking good at that point. Now it's 4 for 14. Doesn't look as good, but he did pop a carry off that must have gotten brought back. Daniel Bellinger with a catch there. That's probably going to be their tight end. So not much going on. You know, their Lions, really nobody of interest going on. And then Carolina, Jonathan Mingo gets involved in the Jets sweep action game there. No receptions from Jake Plummer as of still. Have the Patriots had the ball? Is this like even updating? I know Carolina's had the ball since this. Or did they just not throw it? Maybe they just didn't throw it on their... I don't know what's going on with that. Because there have been... I feel like these are not updating well. Let me look at my phone. Yeah, I mean, there's Tommy DeVito's got a bunch of action. Andrew, Drew Lock. Tyrone Tracy, 5 for 26. So 5.2 yard average, much better there. Eric Gray, a bunch of catches out of the back field. And Bellinger did get 2 targets, so, you know, that's good to see, getting a couple targets. But Tyrone Tracy, 5.2 yard average, something to keep an eye on. You know, I think he could end up being better than Devin Singletary by the end of the season, possibly. I think they drafted him with a plan for reception, so if you're in a full PPR league, he's definitely a guy towards the end of the draft you should be thinking about taking for the New York Giants. And then for Carolina, New England, since these aren't keeping up to date very well, anything interesting? We got the Jonathan Mingo, Ishmael Smith, Marset. No, nothing for Carolina. New England, Bailey Zappi getting a bunch of action. Jacoby Brissett went 0 for 3. Drake May went 2 for 3. And then they pulled a lot of the starters, offensive line and everything. So Drake May, didn't get much more time. Bailey Zappi can get a lot of the game, and probably got a fourth guy that'll get some time. Ramondre Stevenson did take a run, went for 11 yards, so that's good to see. And Antonio Gibson getting some work early in the receiving game. So that is something that I think could bring some, fantasy value. We've seen receiving backs in New England work out quite well in fantasy football before. So Antonio Gibson is a sneaky guy to take late. Not really a target of mine, but it could work out nicely. Keishon Boutte making some plays. Just must have happened. 2 receptions, 37 yards for a second-year wide receiver. Interesting wide receiver. Came out of LSU, I believe. And Jalen Polk got a couple targets early, too, from his starting guys. So that was nice to see. Jalen Polk was kind of the receiving leader while the starters were on the field. I rarely know. You're not the champ. What are you talking about? You got second place in the second league that I'm in, and you got in. You didn't make the playoffs in the other league that we're in together. So all right. Who's winning tonight? Nobody cares. 10 team 3. Yeah, we can change it, Santiago, to 10 team here instead. And the role would like to request. No, you didn't. You're not picking from 12th. You didn't make the playoffs. Yeah, it's a different league. What does it say? Draft order here. Go Jets. Is that you? Were you Go Jets last year? Did I forget you ended up making the playoffs and went all the way? Okay. Congratulations. I forgot. That's how it feels to lose to you. I forget about it that quickly. Alright, you are filling the chat there, brother. Hello, by the way, I hope we're all ready. Yes, fantasy football is about to begin. Alright, so we will go 10 team, full PPR. I got 3 wide receivers already, so we can do 10 team instead of 12. And like I was starting to say, the role would like to convince you guys, and he's going to have to beg and chat to do a second draft, Dynasty style. Let me get this, drop this link in chat one more time. Full PPR, 10 team, 3 wide receiver, mock draft link. Bada bing, bada boom. Come get some. Yeah, your team, you barely made the playoffs, and then you went on a run. 'Twas impressive. I remember it now. I was thinking that you had just missed it, but that must have been 2 years ago now. Time flies. I mean, Dynasty Startup's pretty involved. I don't know how many spots it's supposed to be. We didn't even face each other in the playoffs. That I do know. My team sucked in the playoffs. Best team in the season sucked in the playoffs. Sucked down the stretch. Just all of my guys who were studs just started not working, and I couldn't get the right choice between my Los Angeles Rams receivers. But it's okay. I've made the playoffs for like 4 or 5 years in a row straight. Almost every year I've played fantasy football. I'm good. All right. Retirement. Danico Autry, not retired. Suspended 6 games. Danico Autry, Houston edge rusher. Now, training camp news. Tampa Bay wide receiver rookie Jalen McMillan has been receiving a lot of hype in camp. To me, it's a weird fit. That's my big concern. Why I'm not going to get too excited about Jalen McMillan. He's a bit of a natural slot, and they have plans. They've made it publicly known that they have plans to put Chris Godwin back into the slot this year. So I just wonder how well that works. But I think at this point, Jalen McMillan's looking like he's going to be the third guy. Once again, I don't know. Seems like a weird fit. Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua got up slow, didn't return to practice on Sunday. That's last Sunday. Or technically this Sunday. He is week to week with a knee injury after that. Quote on the tweet about his injury was that it's not serious, but it's week to week, so it's not nothing. I think that we're about to see Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua's draft positions flip is what I wrote at that point. Cooper Kupp, speaking of, I have a note down here later on for him saying that a lot of good news coming out of camp about his health and where he's at. Back to full health is the word. He is aging, but yeah, I just won't be surprised if we're seeing Cooper Kupp getting drafted ahead of Puka Nacua due to this injury situation and a pretty consistent flow of good news coming out for Cooper Kupp recently. So let's see here. Another little bit more news about Puka Nacua is he's someone who came into the league with injury concerns, and he did not make it through last season without an injury. As some may think, he played through some stuff that drastically hurt his performance for several weeks, and he never got back to 100%, or at least not until like really late into the season. He might have been back late season, but he was definitely hampered for a while last year. Right after that, good news surrounding Cooper Kupp. Pittsburgh quarterback one battle is real. That thing has been the gas has been ignited on that one this offseason. So keep your eyes on that. I do think there are some implications in terms of the fantasy receivers and tight end that kind of depends. Whoever wins there might help. For instance, the tight end position, Justin Fields should be better for Pat Freiermuth than Russell Wilson will probably be. So Russell Wilson had a little bit of an injury. Gave a little bit of a window opened for Justin Fields to get some work, and then now all of a sudden it's really just become a camp battle in the last week. So we'll see who wins that. Quarterback Bo Nix appears to be in the lead. The quarterback 1, he is the quarterback 3 on the official depth chart, but don't let that fool you. I've been watching a lot of local news on the Broncos, trying to figure out, if there's any chance of my boy Audric Estime, how things are looking for him, and just that battle and whatnot. And the local people have been saying for like last week or two that Bo Nix has been taking a lot of the work with the ones, looks to be, right there on the cusp of taking that role, and they expect him to be named number 1 sooner than later. DeAndre Hopkins update, the expectation is that he'll be available by week 1. So that's an injury that happened like a week ago. 8-man Dynasty startup 30 rounds. See, that's the thing. That's a lot. So hold on. Carolina running back Jonathan Brooks, ETA, week 3 or 4 via head coach Dave Canales. Get a vote in chat there about, if you want to do a 30-round draft for a Dynasty startup to help the roll out here, practicing for, I assume, a startup league that he's going to be doing soon enough. So Jonathan Brooks, ETA, week 3 or 4, a little bit later than I was expecting him to be ready for the season, so that wasn't like the best news for him. I haven't really seen his draft spot be affected by that news too much lately, so I'm still pretty cool getting him where he's at, but I'm not as excited about it. But Chuba Hubbard did get a boost in my rankings. He's going to get a boost early on in the season. I put him at my running back 41, right behind Ezekiel Elliott. I'm still not drafting him because I just don't think he's a very good running back, and he's not on a good team. Baltimore running back Justice Hill, comments on him from head coach John Harbaugh were good, and John Harbaugh is known for being a no BS, doesn't really lie to the media kind of guy very often. Not always everything he says doesn't turn out to be true, but a lot does. And his quote is that about Justice Hill, he is a high-caliber running back. I think he's going to play a lot. And I think that this reality, I talked about this in my running back rankings video. Justice Hill was more efficient than King Henry was last year, also had a better offensive line, sure. But there's a big age difference there. I think that they want King Henry to be as fresh as possible late season for a Super Bowl run. They don't want to overuse him early on in the year, so that's why I'm a little bit low on King Henry. This doesn't mean I'm high on Justice Hill. I mean, I might be compared to consensus, but there could be some low-key value to him in like a 0 running back type of format. And I don't think he's really getting drafted. So let's see. Yeah, there we go. Cover that. Cincinnati wide receivers. A lot of news here. So Trenton Irwin has been running with the ones in Jamar Chase's place specifically. So to me, this does not make him the wide receiver 3. Maybe this is the primary backup. And I don't know that that's for sure right. That's the vibe that I've been getting. Once again, been watching camp news coming from the local media a lot for Cincinnati as well. So far, the draft order is incorrect. Andre Iosivas, last year's 6th-round receiver, who I actually liked quite a bit, is running with the ones in all scenarios, meaning he's also working from the slot, which I didn't really think they would have him running from the slot, but I guess he's got it works enough in their system. So he's kind of then the lead guy there. He's been getting plenty of work from the slot. He is now my 3rd highest ranked Cincinnati receiver at the moment. I have him ranked, I did at least at this point when I made this note, moved him up to ranked wide receiver 64. Charlie Jones was running with the 2s, so I pushed him back a little bit in my rankings. Still was expected to be involved in this offense. Unfortunately, as of today, Charlie Jones was carted off with one of those injuries that could be season-ending, one of those injuries that could be nothing. So we will see what comes back with the MRIs on that. I know he already had the imaging taken. Just hasn't gotten, publicly at least we don't know what the results were of that yet. But that's going to help Andre Iosivas, Jermaine Burton, of course. I think Trenton Irwin still cemented in as that, true number 1 backup receiver on this roster that also gets some other work in 4 wide receiver formations, whatever. But they did not mention Jermaine Burton, where I took these notes specifically from. It sounds like he's kind of been buried on the depth chart at this point in time. So don't get too excited about him. He's been getting drafted somewhat highly, but I think a little bit lower as the offseason gone on. Los Angeles Chargers wide receiver Ladd McConkey had a lower body injury at training camp. Details were unknown, and I still haven't seen any feedback on that one. I don't know if we've gotten anything. Suffering undisclosed injury, still undisclosed as of 50 minutes ago. So there we go. Cincinnati running back Zach Moss was listed as the RB1 on the preseason depth chart. I don't really know what to tell you on this. If you saw, I had a video that I was pretty excited about Chase Brown being told by the local media there that he's running with the ones the most. I'm still going to be hanging on tight with my rankings for the most part. I moved Chase Brown back a little bit, Zach Moss up a little bit. I hadn't moved him back too much anyways in the first place. But regardless, I think that both Moss and Brown are probably good values where they're going in drafts anyways. So, for where they're going, still think they're fine. Detroit cornerback Emmanuel Mosley has tore his pectoral muscle. So if you know anything about cornerback Emmanuel Mosley, he just keeps missing time, tearing things. Tore his ACL the last 2 years, and then now he tore his pec. So that's just brutal. Thought we'd have a moment of silence for that. Okay, tight end Sam Laporta has a hamstring injury, so this could bring him, into I don't know how far back, but this could push his stock back. It might make him a little bit more affordable. I've always thought, in the 3rd round, Sam Laporta is nice. He's been going at the back end of the 2nd round plenty, but if you can get him in the 3rd round, even with this hamstring injury this early, month out, it's a little bit of a risk, but 3rd round, if it's 4th round, all the better. I think you're going to be getting a decent value there if you want to try and take the best tight end off the board. San Francisco running back Christian McCaffrey has a calf strain. A couple week recovery for that. Gives him plenty of time to heal. They're just not going to be using him in the offseason. I think he'll have more than enough time to heal, so I'm not too afraid about that from Haven't heard others be afraid about it either. Wide receiver A.D. Mitchell and Alec Pierce are co-starters for now as the wide receiver, like 3 in that offense, but both of them listed as a dead heat there, so I expect A.D. Mitchell to overtake Alec Pierce, be more utilized throughout the season. Alec Pierce will have a role in this offense, of course, but yeah, I mean, A.D. Mitchell hasn't won it yet. Alec Pierce has done well enough that he's still in the fight there. New York Giants wide receiver Malik Neighbors might be having the best offseason of any rookie wide receiver this offseason. The news keeps coming out about him being just absolutely flashing. Was hoping to see a little bit more from that tonight, but I'm sure we'll get some preseason action on him. Indianapolis wide receiver Josh Downs had a high ankle sprain. This is rough, about a month usually. Could miss week 1, 4 to 6 week injury. So Josh Downs, we should be good. Well, I feel like I can't do Sunday, but I might. So you're gonna have to meet in the middle. 25 rounds is meeting in the middle. All right. Atlanta wide receiver Rondale Moore unfortunately suffered a season-ending knee injury yesterday. Practice was called early there. That's going to hurt this offense in general. I think he was an important piece to it. Fantasy-wise, I don't know what it was going to look like for him, but I think that's not good for this offense as a whole. But fantasy-wise, it might help Kyle Pitts. Could hurt Kirk Cousins a little bit. Just a little bit. Nothing that we're ever going to know for sure about. But that was unfortunate. Practice ended early. It sounded like it was pretty brutal or took a toll on the guys at practice. So that sucks. Las Vegas tight end Brock Bowers, on the opposite end of sucking, has been receiving some solid camp buzz. Nothing like spectacular that I've seen, but nothing bad. Good stuff about Brock Bowers from camp. People have been impressed. Seattle running back Kenneth Walker, offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb really seems to like him and trust him as a 3-down back. Likes to use him in the receiving game, so that could be a little bit of a bonus for Ken Walker because if he can hold on to that role, that will be huge because and he does not want to. Ryan Grubb passed a lot in college. He did come in saying that he didn't want to pass that much in the NFL, but still there's a little bit of concern in terms of the rushing game of how much work Kenneth Walker might get in this offensive system. If they're going to trust him with the receiving back role, that could go a long ways towards making up for any lack of touches on the ground. New York Jets wide receiver Mike Williams gets activated off the PUP list this past week, a couple days ago, as he recovers from his torn ACL. So that's one step in the right direction there. Los Angeles Chargers running backs Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins are named co-starters. Isaiah Spiller is currently the RB3 with Kimani Vidal absolutely buried on the depth chart at the moment. These are early depth charts. A lot of times rookies got to earn their way. Nonetheless, watch how highly you're drafting Kimani Vidal. There might be some better options. It's going to take several injuries for, it takes at least 2 injuries before Kimani Vidal gets the most of the workload. So that's a best case scenario. So just be careful. I'll probably be moving him down my next running back adjustments soon. 2 more notes here and we can get to drafting. Buffalo tight end Dalton Kincaid. Just earlier today, Pete Prisco tweeted out that after spending a couple of days with the Bills, he thinks that Dalton Kincaid could surpass 100 receptions this year. Obviously, having a good camp and being a big part of that receiving game. And, the last note I already talked about, Charlie Jones. Yeah, I mean, C.J. Spiller might be the guy to actually have. That's not going to end up probably being a factor, the real thing. But is everybody ready here? We've got 4 people in. Does anybody else want in on this draft? And let us know about your willingness to do a... what is this called? One of those Dynasty startups after this one. All right, I'm about to start it. I hope you're ready. Hold up, one moment. I'm going to let my buddy know. Okay, I'm just gonna give my buddy a second to get back in if he wants to join in on this mock draft. I don't know. Oh, he's at his mom's house. I don't know. I have... Okay. Or the trophy's at his mom's house. Okay. Never mind. Not him. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's roll. Justin Jefferson, first off the board. Look at that craziness. Then things normalize a little bit, but CeeDee Lamb's still available. And I'm trying to learn from this spot. I think I'm going to go running back here. Oh, this is full PPR. 3 wide receiver. Shucks. I should have gone to Amon St. Brown. He's a great full PPR wide receiver. Say hello to the camera. Alright, the roll. Going Bijan Gibbs around the turn. You gotta move, cat. Okay, if my sound goes out, you're gonna have to let me know. Because my cat's back by the cord again. Never know. Alright. Shooks. Well, this isn't always the goal in full PPR, but I do think we got 2 running backs that can catch the ball pretty well. Saquon Barkley's to make my running back 3 or 4. I don't think that would change a whole lot in full PPR, so tough to pass that up at that point in the draft. Might have to lower this time to 1 minute. Full PPR. Mike Evans, Nico Collins. It's tough. It's so close. I feel like Mike Evans is a little bit more of a sure bet with all the wide receivers in Houston on a game in week out week in basis. So I will go with that for full PPR. Half PPR had gone Nico. Wide receivers make it around. Neighbor's probably a nice full PPR bet. Yeah, I think I'll go with Nico then. Hmm. Trey McBride, Dalton Cade, I think, are in line to definitely get heavily targeted. It's tough to pass up. Let's try it, see how it works out. I'm gonna go McBride. So the Rolls roster here, we got Bijan, Gibbs, Waddle, Neighbors, Metcalf. I mean, I think for full PPR, it's looking pretty darn nasty. Might have thought about capping that off with one of the top end quarterbacks there to really get yourself a nice starting roster, but I never have a problem with getting depth and holding off on quarterbacks and whatnot. So, very strong start there, the roll. I like that roster. Full PPR, Zay Flowers probably a little bit more valuable in. T. Higgins definitely a good option. Yeah, I think we can piece this together. Let's try just getting ourselves a Studley starting roster. He might be. I mean, he's a better football player than him, but I don't know that he's a lot more competition for targets in Cincinnati. Also coming off a really poor year where he was actually probably not the better wide receiver last year. Take She over Rome and those around him, especially full PPR. That should be nice. He's the nice safety blanket. He's earned the trust of Patrick Mahomes. Talked about that in camp. I think about that today a little bit. A lot of the local beat writers have said outside of Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy might have the most trust. So that basically means Hollywood Brown. Yellow alert. But I think once the pads come on, I just think it's a different deal. I still think Hollywood Brown's going to have the edge on Xavier. But we'll see. Xavier's definitely got, some good news coming around that. Zay Likely is not better than Zay Flowers, and it's not likely that he is. That's just not even in the same position. I'm not like some Zay Flowers truther here, but come on. Dunze is still available there. Jordan Addison, for as long as it's going to be, he could have a nice start to the year. Well, it's Sam at quarterback. Not gonna stack up. Worthy and Rice, that's for sure. Yeah, I think our backup there, yeah, we'll take Rome as a backup wide receiver. Anytime there's an injury there, he's got a great connection with Caleb. I think New England got a touchdown. Kevin Harris, nice. All right, Zach Moss, Mostert. Yeah, I think that's an easy pull for me, even in full PPR. Giving up on Deontay Johnson, though, that might not have been the best move. I probably wanted one more wide receiver in that group before going back to running back. I don't know. Running backs are about to fall through, too. It's tough. All right, Mr. Santiago, what do we got here? Brown, Taylor, Samuel, James Cook. Nice receiving back for full PPR. Same with Mark Cooper, full PPR. Ramondre should be good for full PPR there as well, or in your flex. Or Ridley in your flex. I have my concerns about Ridley this year, but we'll see. And, he's your backup. Ferguson at tight end. Hurtzak, nice there. Solid roster. Kittle, Jordan Love, the roll. Yeah, solid. The roll getting a good squad there with pick 9. Oh, Eckler would have been. See, I should have flipped this around. Deontay Johnson, then maybe Eckler makes it there. But you know what? All right, Mostert, Brian Thomas. Not bad. Dude. Calm down. No. All right, Micah, what do we got? What you cooking up here? CeeDee Lamb, Cooper Kupp, Zay Flowers, Terry McLaurin. I don't know full PPR, but it's your fourth wide receiver / flex, so fine. Definitely fine. Might be better than my fourth wide receiver. Yeah, better than my fourth wide receiver. Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs. I don't know that you are. I don't remember Kyron Williams how much receiving work. Maybe he did get a decent amount last year out of the backfield. I'm not even sure how much full PPR affects Kyron Williams there. Looks like a good start here. Let's see. I think I'll full PPR. Yeah, Corley Sutton should get a lot of targets at least, right? Or for being this late in the draft. Or Khalil. Oh gosh. You know what? I'll go Chase Brown here. So we don't have any kickers or DSTs in here, by the way, if you didn't catch on to that. I think I'll pop a squad on the backup quarterback train as well here. Full PPR. I think I'll take my shot at Khalil being the favorite target there and Buffalo to those receivers instead of Adonai. Alright. The cat's being crazy. Oh, she just wants outside. I'll be right back. Yeah, I think we'll back up our running back situation there a little bit. Alright, it's going to be 1 minute rounds for your little fantasy startup that we're going to try. Between the targets of Jalen Polk or Josh Downs, I'll take a bet on Josh Downs coming back to health here, hopefully. All right, so Santiago, Mr. Santiago, you wanted to do this, so I was just looking through your roster. You might have seen as I was going down through it with my mouse, and like, I love it. I don't have any real advice on something to do differently, like wide receiver here and then running back. I guess the one spot I could, let's see if we were to go, like, if Bijan's here, but then there's some news that I'm concerned about him. Does Garrett Wilson make it back to you? I mean, probably not. So you might as well take your wide receiver here. So, yeah, I have no Deebo Samuel. I might go Waddle in full PPR over, or Malik Neighbors even. I think that the ceiling of Neighbors is great. Deebo, if you're thinking that Ayuk's going to be gone, I suppose that helps his receiving total. But otherwise, especially full PPR, I would probably take a chance on a Waddle, or like I would really go for that ceiling of Neighbors. Even thinking Cooper Kupp and in the past, how much he's gotten work from. It's a little bit concerned about Deebo, extra concerned for full PPR. But other than that, I was going through looking at the picks and the strategy here, and I think you played the board right, you know. I don't really have any feedback for you, so I thought that was a nice strong draft there from you. The role, you know, I loved the start of your draft. I think you got a really strong roster there, and for the most part, as it continued here, it's very strong as well, and I'm cool with holding off and going with some quarterbacks that you have faith in, and same with the tight ends. I mean, you know, George Kittle in the 8th round, how could I say that that's a bad pick? I mean, so it's a good roster. I don't have any kind of bad feedback for that one. My own... one heck of a duo for full PPR starting running backs, and then just a little thin at wide receiver. That third wide receiver spot could be a headache if Rashee Rice doesn't work out. I definitely took several shots, though, to hopefully make up for that. So we're good there. I mean, you know, hopefully. I think my flex is strong with, like, Mostert or one of these other guys, depending on throughout the season. Got right to back that up. Chase Brown, I think, especially full PPR, is a good option. So if Trey McBride and Anthony Richardson can actually give me an advantage, then I'm good. My only question is, I don't know, do they? You know, does Trey McBride really give me an advantage against many of these guys in any given week? I don't know for sure. I do have them ranked. Like, going here is fine, but there's a reason that if I'm going to take an early tight end, I prefer ultimately getting like Dalton Kincaid around here, like in the 6th round, if he falls you there. Or yeah, I think that's like my favorite spot to be able to get him, probably right there. So some worries about that. Anthony Richardson, I do think I'm hoping I get an edge on CJ Stroud, Pat Mahomes here, and everybody else outside of Lamar, Allen, Hurts. But it's a risk. So it's a risky team that could work out if I can get those edges. Otherwise, it might be a headache of a team that's in it. But are they in it to win it? Can't guarantee it. CeeDee Lamb, you get a gift with CeeDee Lamb making it to you here, so that's nice. Kyron Jacobs, I don't know that's the strongest for full PPR. Cup, Zay Flowers, Terry, so you're looking good for flex and your 3 wide receivers there. I think you're looking fine. Yeah, I think Rashee Rice might end up being better than Zay Flowers for the wide receiver 3 there too. I might get a little bit of a steal there with Rashee Rice, but we'll see. More mouths to feed there this year than last year. CJ Stroud, you know, I think that's a little bit early. Get Ingram's nice. Stafford as the backup to Stroud's beautiful. Knox, hey, if anything happens to Kincaid, he'll be competing with the ones for tight ends. Backup running back room, Moss and Warren should be fine. I'm not the most confident in it, but should be fine. And Blake Corum's a good backup to Kyron Williams, so that's nice. Christian Watson, nice high upside possibility. I guess the same with Jacoby Myers. He did have a good partial last year to parts of it, but concerns there too. So not my favorite to like take a shot on kind of guy late, but also not my least favorite, and probably within where I have him ranked just fine. So yeah, I think my 2 favorite rosters are my clear favorite rosters. I think the roles here. It's just that quarterback spot, you know, a little bit iffy there, and that's important. But I think he got good depth. Should work out. I like waiting like that. So that'll be my winner for this. Otherwise, I don't know which one's my favorite or least favorite between our other three. But Santiago, like I said, I think you took the right guys for the most part when they were there and built a really good, strong roster there. Top 3 quarterback, probably. Ferguson should outperform where he gets drafted at in the best of worlds. So took Stroud because I was going to try to double up with Tank. Fair enough. There's nothing wrong with Stroud. I mean, I just have him ranked behind Richardson. You know, that's it. Not a big deal. All right. Would you like to join me live on the 10th for the Browns game? What, preseason? I don't know. I don't know right now. In 2 days? For some reason, I feel like I have a busy weekend ahead of me, and I think I do. I do. Because I've been working on a bunch of stuff, and I got a video for Monday. I probably can't. You're saying in 2 days, right? I assume you're not talking about like a month from now? Or maybe you're talking about week 1. I don't know. If it's this weekend, I cannot. Alright. So, we're going to do half PPR, whatever. Dynasty, whatever. Dynasty, half PPR. Did you... What was your request? Okay. 12 team, 10 team okay with you? We get another 10 team practice in there for Santiago there? Okay. Quarterback, 2 quarterback. Oh my gosh. Going off the rails. So 2 quarterback, 10 team. You're getting 60 seconds to make your decisions, folks. We're going to rock on through this. Draft order. No. Roster. 2 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver. Might not do 3 wide receiver, a tight end, a flex, a kicker, a defense. We'll just drop the kicker defense thing. So we need this is insane. And I get it, but we're doing practice. We're not even doing it. All right. We'll rock on through this. Call it a night. I'm tired. You can tell I've been in just a great mood today. All right, link is in the chat. I'll let you guys choose first, and then I'll pick from somewhere. See anything interesting in the preseason games? Box score. No. I don't mean not interesting, but for fantasy football purposes specifically. And Kevin Harris, I've thought was a solid under the radar backup. If Ramondre Stevenson goes down, I think he's the guy who takes the workload, not Antonio Gibson. He got a touchdown, but his average yards per carry not guaranteeing that he'll be the guy. Of course, Antonio Gibson's average yards per carry even worse. Boutte though, Booty, 3 receptions, 53 yards. That's impressive. Polk got one more target, so second highest most targeted through this point in the game. Kevin Harris also only caught 1 of 3 targets. That's like not a strength of his game, so you would like to see him catch those. So not the best of arguments outside of that touchdown for him. Sion Vaki, one of many running backs running for the Detroit Lions. Are they going to use him for... Is he just a special teams guy for them? But he did get 7.3 yard average for Vaki, so that's impressive. Nothing else there. Eric Gray broke one off for 48 yards. Otherwise, he had 3 for like 4 yards. But yeah, 2 touchdowns for Eric Gray, his second season. So he's making an argument for himself. Not that Tyrone Tracy did not do good, and Tyrone Tracy ran ahead of him, so already ahead of him on the depth chart. But Eric Gray also 4 receptions for 46 yards, so really making a good argument for himself. That'd be something to keep an eye on. See if he can't like pull ahead of Tyrone Tracy as the backup in New York. Not like I'm dying to get the backup in New York, but if you can get me 4 receptions in the stead of your starting running back, all the better. All right. Looks like we got our group. Okay, you're all drafted from back there, so I'll draft over here, and here we go. It's 1 minute, so be on your heels, boys. Or ladies and gentlemen. To a quarterback. But we're thinking long term here, right? For fantasy, is Anthony Richardson really this low? Lamar, gosh. That's tough. I don't know the age difference between Jalen Hurts and Lamar. So I'm taking one of them. It's a few years. That's for sure. Oh, sure. Take Anthony Richardson. Breece Hall. I mean, Joe Burrow's still young. Marvin Harrison, though, yeah. Yeah, that makes some sense. We're just gonna go for it. Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, let's go. Wide receiver core of the future. So, Michael, just a heads up, like stacking's really not going to matter too much in here. That's not what you're aiming for. Aiming for it depends what your goal is, but for a lot of parts, the rankings are going to be favoring youth a little bit. Future expectations, Dynasty League. It's a forever league, like you're running your own team. Just it's been slowly growing over the last 2 weeks. Really good news. We have been talking about full PPR. It's not sudden. I love Malik Neighbors. You're just talking. I thought you were drafting him a little bit early. And I think you did for sure in one of the cases. The other case, maybe not so much. Warmed up to him a little bit for fantasy football, but I mean Malik Neighbors himself for dynasty purposes. I mean, that's a different story than redraft. I wouldn't mind adding my boy there, A-Chan. And man, at running back, like age definitely less important. Look at Nico. Tank Dell could be a nice asset, huh? This is gonna continue to fill up with some of these young wide receivers, maybe. Oh, Jonathan Brooks, big fan of. I'm not going aiming to win it this year necessarily. And at this point, I'll take a shot on you, T-Law. I'm surprised Dak Prescott's that high. I know he's not like super old yet, but he's kind of getting there compared to some others. Even if he was still like ranked that high among quarterbacks, just like the ADP of 36 off the board seems a little high to me. I cannot really grade these after. I don't know. It all depends on what your goal is. I don't think I really can. Yeah, he's good, but for dynasty purposes, like, for the most part, I mean, unless you're trying to win year one, that's a different story. But even then, might be a slightly rough year in Dallas this year. All right, the roll. So future at your quarterback position should be fine. I like going strong at that for a 2-quarterback league, taking advantage of the fact that they've been falling. So early on, that's something that I like about what you're doing. Oh, those tight ends went, huh? Oh. Oh, tight ends get ugly pretty quickly here. I mean, I got some targets that I'll be able to... Wow, okay. Might as well just wait. Trey Benson, hey, future running back. Let's go. Let's get some youth here. We're looking to win in about 2 years from now. Not looking to win this year. Yeah, this is where I wonder, like, could I draft Travis Kelce and then trade him late year to a contender for like a second round next year, rookie draft pick? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's something I think you could think of strategy-wise. If your goal isn't to win this year. So Zamir White, I don't know how long of a shelf life he's going to have just because I don't know that he's just a pure runner. I don't know for sure what the upside is, but I'm thinking of taking a shot on that. Yeah, I'll continue the youth movement at my wide receiver spot there with Keon Coleman there too. I am playing to win. It's Dynasty. I'm just probably not going to win this year because I've got a bunch of rookie receivers. Maybe I will. But I'm setting myself up more for a nice little run in a couple years, win 3 years in a row or something. Second year, I got almost all my skilled players are first or second year guys. Outside of Nico Collins. 3 rookie wide receivers, 2 rookie running backs, and a second year running back. Shoot. The quarterbacks just flew off. I wanted to get in on that. You got Ricky Pearsall. And Penix. I need one more starter for this year, don't I? It's a legit 2 QB league. All right, so the roll. I liked your quarterback thinking there. You grabbed one more. Okay, so you're like set for now and into the future and relatively young at quarterback. So you're looking good there, and it's a 2 quarterback league. So if there's anywhere you want to look good, that is an area. Drake London, DK Metcalf, T. Higgins. So some like nice strong receiving core ready to go. Older tight end. Let's see, my Robinson, running back. Oof. Gonna go young here. Okay. I'm just, because your quarterback situation up being like, well, you can play Purdy this year. I feel like there's a confliction, the role between what you're doing at quarterback and what you're doing with the rest of the team. Are you trying to win this year? Or are you trying to win in like 4 years? I mean, those wide receivers, well, DK and T, I mean, I don't know, in 4 years, might be past their prime. I don't know. Trying to figure out the strategy. I, on the other hand, need a second guy this year. Okay, sure, Kirk join me this year? Sure. Let's do it. I guess I'll have the torch pass off at the Atlanta quarterback there. That works. Okay. I think you're asking a little too much progression from Caleb Williams. Justin Herbert, I just don't know that in this Los Angeles Chargers system, I don't know that he's going to be like asked the most out of from him. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take my boy Chase Brown there. So, I mean, running back's a position that you really don't want to draft for too far into the future. Like, you can't be thinking 4 years into the future because there just aren't rookies. Like, I'm talking later picks for your depth. Like, there's just not a whole lot of great running back depth if you're trying to win in the future. Just something I'm thinking I'll kind of notice here as we get later. I mean, maybe because it's no. I mean, yeah. Once you're getting to, there's some. I guess there's just a difference of you could push back the running back like you're doing, and you could get some guys that might end up being better than Trey Benson, Jonathan Brooks a little bit later because they're like lesser rookies right now. Actually, not a bad idea. Kyle Juszczyk. Michael. What? How far did you search him? What's his ADP? You got an aging fullback in here. What are you doing? $383 overall. You took him in the top like 120-ish, 130, 30. I appreciate you guys helping out the role with this, giving them some practice reps. Getting them ready. Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy. The now and the future, you thinking? What's the future of quarterback there, though? That's the real question. There you go. Just kind of going for it, Santiago. I like it. Be ready to go. Now and into the future. Hmm. I feel like Romeo Dobbs probably has higher upside than Josh Downs for fantasy football purposes. So we'll go there. Like, he could actually become a true number one. Josh Downs could not. Hey, I'm a believer in Keaton Mitchell. Man, this quarterback's falling again. One, two. Yeah, I already got my 4. Is there anybody? Okay, I guess we'll take Pat Frymuth. Team 9. Team 9 getting a unique running back group together there. How many quarterbacks are you going to take the role? You just trying to starve the league at this point? So you got 1, 2.5 for the. I mean, even these guys still relatively young. I don't think you need those other two. But I don't know. It's 25 rounds. I will take Ben Sonata as well for my tight end. Future tight ender. Which franchise? I feel like Denver might be building something at least, and maybe Audric Estimate could be a part of that. We'll do that. Ooh, Jeremy Rockert sighting. I like that. Jay Doxson, Wyatt, Bane. What's happening? You taking all your like favorite college guys? Let's give the role some real practice. Who? He's not even on a roster. He was let go a year ago. Nobody's picked him up over the last year, and it's every team's got like 90 players on him right now. What are you doing? Same guy. I think I know who this is. Yeah. 29-year-old who's hasn't had a team for 3 years. What is this? Well, I'm sorry, the role. I don't know what Michael's doing. Kind of funking up your practice here. We'll take a shot on Tyrone Tracy, probably. I like Ruckert, though. I like Michael Wilson. There's a possible upside there. All right, 6 more rounds here. Oh, I don't know if I didn't remove like maxes, so I don't know how that's gonna work out. Hold up. Is that a setting like max? Okay. I don't see any setting for it, so hopefully we're good. Are we up to me? Okay. Ooh, Jalen Hyatt. Dulcich. I hope Dulcich does something. He's got dealt a bad hand early on. Malachi Corley, Mims, Darnu, I do not mind Demario Douglas or Malik Washington there. Isaac Grando could be the future. This will piss somebody off. Well, thing is do I have more faith in Tucker Kraft? Tucker Kraft could still be the guy. I'll take Tucker. What's up, Joe? 1 second. This is just ridiculous with the quarterbacks, so I'm just gonna pretend like they're being taken. I would like Spencer Rattler as a crap shot here. Add that onto this roster. I have the 1.02 in my league tonight. I was thinking about Bijan and then 2 stud wide receivers at the turns instead of going CD and then running back. What do you think? So I am actually not opposed to that strategy one bit. I do have concerns about Bijan just with some of the talk coming out from the head coach. Maybe Google up if you want to see the quote, Google it. But I believe it's the head coach, not even the offensive coordinator, who said that, what's his name? The backup running back there. Why can't I think of his name? You know who I'm talking about, though. The backup running back for Bijan Robinson is supposed to get like a lot of work again this year. So, Tyler Algier, thank you very much. So I'm kind of like leaning towards Breece Hall over him ish, but outside of that, I'm not opposed to that strategy. CD is like my number 1 guy in the league in the draft. But when the running backs come back to you around the second round, you kind of miss out on that tier no matter what. And I do think that second tier of wide receivers, there are a couple guys there that I prefer over like the running backs that you come around to. So because of how the draft works out, I don't mind it, Joe, one bit. I'm not going to argue against it. It's something I've been testing out in a lot of my videos for drafts, and I think it's been working out nicely for making good teams. We'll take Rasheen Ali here of Baltimore, late running back. Like him a lot. And yes, Malik Washington or Eric All or Cade Stover. I feel like I got a lot of young running backs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there. Yeah, let's pop off for a tight end. Yeah, the higher upside is going to be Eric All. We'll go for that. That's the other thing to do, just test it out and see what you think of it overall. But because of how the board works, I don't mind doing that this year. Most years, I'd probably say I'd rather the wide receiver first. And here's the other thing to think about with the second pick, too, is running backs are the most susceptible to injury. So you are taking on that inherent additional risk just by taking on a running back with that first pick compared to a wide receiver. And if you're in full PPR, I will go CeeDee Lamb myself, full PPR. But if you're in half PPR, whatnot, then I'm totally open to that. Good luck with the mock draft. Good luck with the real draft, man. Appreciate you hopping in here. I hope it, draft a team that you like, ultimately. What is going on with this draft here? You just way in the deeps, just looking at names that you like? Michael, have you had an aneurysm, Michael? Let me know that you're okay. Like your wide receivers. the role, you couldn't help yourself. Just take another quarterback, right? I mean, that works out nicely for this year. Now you're like, now you can try to compete this year. Blake Corum, Nick Chubb, Zach Charbonnet, any of those work out this year? Now you're in it. So, hey, look at that turnaround. But he's not supposed to be lasting until that long, apparently, either. Still, you can kind of flip drafts, I guess, and like try to compete for now by getting your quarterback. Some of these aging quarterbacks are really late in the draft. Young running backs, I think, old quarterbacks. Uh, Whatever for wide receiver, you can go either route like you did, I did, a mix of both or whatever. Just don't go old. Unless it's like a stud and you're going, got a roster you feel really confident in winning this year right off the bat. Sorry, man. You're not even talking in chat, so I'm just gonna CPU your pick. Taking the whole pick, and then you're taking random dudes. A.T. Perry, upside. Aeneas Smith, upside, but probably not going to hit it. We'll take a... Josefas is kind of winning in camp right now. He's a guy we could always get rid of. I wish they were actually giving Davis Allen a real shot there. And I'm a bit of a believer in Tip Ryman, so I'm just going to go ahead and put him on the end of my roster there. Trying to find the future tight end here. Could have taken him a little bit later. Hey, Joe, if you want, we could probably give you a quick practice mock if you're still in here. Respond quickly if you are. All right. Well, Michael, I hate your draft. Don't know what happened there. It wasn't auto... I mean, I feel like it should have auto-picked if you missed your pick once. But I don't know. Nice Smith there. Is that Frank Gore? That the Frank Gore, really? I'm troll under the bridge. Alright. What I am curious about, since you're finally talking, are these names of guys who you've liked in college? Or were you just totally random? Yeah, that's why I didn't want to do this necessarily, but I do appreciate you guys for hanging in there, helping out the role with this. And the role, I don't think you need that many quarterbacks, but maybe I'm wrong on that. It is 2 quarterback, but I feel like you got a lot of youth in your front 4 already. I do like the Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, which you'd have to take a little bit higher to make your current roster more competitive. For year 1. Year 2, you did say you're making that year 2 push too, so some of those guys might, still be relevant next year. All-Americans, nice. And Santiago, if you want some feedback, I think I gave you some feedback. I don't think it's changed. I mean, I don't have too many complaints about it. I thought you made some nice picks. I don't care for Henry or Gore there late. Ty Chandler's, I think we've seen him, but you know, coming into his 3rd year, so maybe there's something more there we haven't seen yet. Jonathan Mingo. It's not on. That's a group where I would have some other names I would rather go for. They're real late there, but you know, much later than you're used to having a draft, without doing any homework ahead of time with a minute to make your choices. So I appreciate you all. Also, use check. That's cool. I didn't know he's from Cleveland, but that does make sense. He would be a Midwestern boy. You're still in the Midwest, right, Cleveland? The east of the Midwest. All right, I gotta catch up on these lovely games going on. 10-zip. New England winning 4th quarter. About to have a kickoff. Medina. And New York Giants leading 14-3. So let's see here. Currently, looking like it's going to be the Giants versus New England, unless there's a late push in the 4th quarters. Giants, New England, tied for the least votes. Detroit, New England, Giants, New England. I did vote for New England, so I was correct on that one. I also voted for Detroit. Looking like I was wrong there, probably. And you know, I actually thought afterwards, I was like, Detroit doesn't have like the most depth, especially on defense. Whereas I feel like the New York Giants are just kind of like the same team the whole way through. Like their depth is close to as good as their starters, which is to say it's okay. So New York Giants, Carolina was the lead. So not bad. A lot of people thought New York Giants instead of Detroit. That's for sure. More people thought that. And it looks like the most people did think Carolina. A little bit surprised about that. I feel like New England's a pretty, you know, solid team. Carolina, you know, it's Carolina. All right. I think we're going to end it there, guys. Thank you very much for another successful Thursday. We've got 2 more weeks, and after that, I'll be going live like every night leading up to the weekend of the holiday. Labor Day? Yeah, I believe that's Labor Day coming up, right? I don't know. I never know. Memorial? One of the two. I think it's Labor. And I will be... we gotta end it here. Appreciate the enthusiasm. At least I'm glad that you were at least drafting like guys that you previously liked. I wasn't sure if you just taking random dudes. I mean, you were taking random guys, but you know, glad to see you were at least kind of just scrolling through the names, reading through them, take ones that you recognize. A little bit of fun that way. All right, that's where we end it, guys. Thank you very much. Peace out. Take care. Much love. And I'll see you next week for sure. Bye-bye. End it.